Aries. This is this is in all signs. Relationship issues that will be cleared up, and I'm going to tell you when. Okay? This is all signs, but I'm up to you, Aries. There's uh there's a lot of stuff going on with you. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of mixed signals in your relationship, and it's going to be cleared up. But I'm seeing a few different things here. Um, it's showing me that you've been dealing with somebody who reacts instead of communicates. And it shows that both sides have been assuming instead of asking questions. Okay, just assuming things. And like, instead of talking about what the problem is, I see somebody saying, "Oh, this one's cheating on me, that one's cheating on me. That's why, things are the way they are." But there's also that element of pride and ego that's going on where neither of you wants to be the first one to admit that there is some kind of confusion that needs to be cleared up. I can tell you that the energy is going to shift when one of you actually finally drops the defensive tone and speaks plainly, speaking your truth without being afraid of what your partner's response is going to be, or if there's going to be an argument or anything like that. I'm also getting that what this is called is like a truth breaks the tension moment. That's what this is called. And I did these cards, and it's like actually showing me that whole situation is going to open up in March. It doesn't, I want to say that it's going to be fixed in March, but it looks to me like it may not actually get fixed until April because of delays for some reason. Like some of you, it will end in March. Others, if there's someone who's not around or you're not speaking to each other, it may take until April. But I do see it being fixed, like fixed, opened up. It could be from an argument, but the thing is that there could be some silence going on where neither of you wants to speak to the other one. And the other scenario is that there's arguing. But sometimes, in fact, most times, that's when people actually speak their truth, is when they're arguing, because at that point they just stop caring. They're like, I want to hurt you. I want to see that hurt in your face because of how you're making me feel. And so the truth actually comes out at that point. So that could be actually what happens. But either way, I do see that happening for you. I do see a couple of trips here. I see actually 2 trips in June. It looks like both of you take a trip at the beginning part of June, and one of you takes a trip at the ending part of June where it causes like a separation, but it's just a physical separation. It's not anything to worry about. Let's see. I do see also, just want to throw this in, doesn't have anything to do with that, I don't think, but I see you getting 2 different types of news in February. So one is going to be information about finances that you might be worrying about or waiting for. And the other is going to be about communication, some kind of news. Like that might be that point where either the communication stops, or it could be where the negative communication stops and the two of you actually start speaking to each other. And then in March, you're working it out. And then well, for some of you, it gets worked out in March. And for others, it may take until April, like I said before. Hey, Taurus. I'm back. Okay, so with you, I'm seeing emotional distance, or it could just be somebody who's pulling away. Okay. And it seems like there's a lot of misinterpretations going on here. Like you may feel that somebody is withdrawing from you because they're not interested in you. But the truth is that it's fear. They have a fear in disappointing you. They've been overwhelmed, juggling responsibilities, and afraid to admit that they're struggling. It's like they feel as though they have to be strong because Taurus is strong. And Taurus, you may be misinterpreting their silence as a rejection instead of their fear. But once vulnerability or any type of open emotions enters the conversation, this connection is going to be softened and it's going to stabilize. That's for a lot of you. For some of you, it seems like this has been going on for so long that you just want to get out of it. You're just done. And I see where some are waiting for divorce paperwork to be finished, finalized. And I see that for June. So if you're waiting for it, that's when it's going to happen. The thing is that in May, you're going to find out that this person may want a second chance. I mean, you're the one who is probably pulling away. And they're not pulling away from you because they are not interested in you anymore. They're pulling away from you because they're afraid. And they really, it seems like they really don't want this divorce. And you're going to find out about that in May. I'm going to leave that at that. So as far as this communication situation goes, I'm seeing that by the middle of May, everything is going to be cleared up. You're going to understand each other. Somebody's going to come clean with their true feelings. And for some of you, it's going to come through gossip. Like, it's like your partner may talk to somebody else about how they're feeling. And then they may talk to somebody else. And then that person's going to come to you and let you know. And it's going to be up to you as to whether, you want that second chance or not. But it's going to be out there for you. And if it's the other way around, know that that person is waiting for you to change your mind. Or you're waiting for them to change their mind. So there's like that much confusion there. And all it would take would be a little bit of truth, a little open communication, a little bit of not being afraid to hear what the other person has to say. Because, you really can't fix a situation until you know what the situation actually is. We can assume all day long, but 9 times out of 10, we're going to be wrong about it. So let me just throw this in here. Dealing with this situation is going to be gossip in February, like after the 15th, 16th, in that area. There's also going to be someone who's working with you to try and fix this or help you fix this situation if that's what you want. And if it's what your partner wants, is going to be somebody there helping them fix the situation, which is probably where the gossip comes from. Then there's also gossip in May. So those are the 2 times that I see that. And a lot of unhappiness is going to be ended in March. That seems to be where it's like somebody's going to... Okay, so what I'm seeing is someone's facial expression. And it's like you're having a conversation with somebody, but you're not really looking at them. You're just assuming, or it could be vice versa. But one of you is assuming that the other is really not interested and they don't want to have anything else to do with you, or you don't want to have anything to do with them. And then somebody notices a facial expression that tells them the opposite. There's a sense of caring and unhappiness when negative things are being spoken. That's what I see. So look for this to be cleared up for you. I'm seeing different areas where you'll notice it. I'm seeing the end part of February. Actually, let's start that from right after Valentine's Day. Yeah, there's a situation here where somebody thinks that there's a third party involved. And if there really is a third party involved, that's going to end before Valentine's Day. I'm going to say maybe around the 7th of February. It's going to end. Anywhere in there. It definitely looks like if there is a situation like that, it's not causing anybody any happiness. I see somebody looking for validation and looking for some positive thoughts about them, self-esteem issues that this person can clear up with the way that they speak to them. But I don't see love involved in it. And I think that's why it's going to end so quickly. Okay. If you like this and it resonates with you, please like, share, subscribe. On to Gemini. Oh, one more thing, Taurus. If you were looking for that one job, like if you're looking for a job, or if you're looking for one job in particular, look to like maybe towards the end of February, middle of March, for that to come through for you. Okay. Now, I have the same thing and we're on Gemini now, but I have the same thing for Gemini, where it's like that job that you really want it. And maybe you haven't heard anything. Maybe you're waiting to hear. And it shows, I see a couple of different areas. The first one that I see is for February, mid-February is where I see that. And going towards the like middle to the end of February. And I see If it's a woman who's waiting for the job, I see a man calling. And if it's a man, I see a woman calling you. But the job comes through. Get the job, both of you, Taurus and Gemini. Okay. So on to Gemini. Okay, your issues, they're kind of different. It's like an on again, off again type of cycle that you might be going through. It's like you feed off each other's energy. Like when one's pulling away, you pull away. Well, when one's pulling away, the other one pulls away. But this cycle, it actually has been fueled by indecision and emotional inconsistencies, not just from the other person, but from Gemini too. Both of you have been mirroring each other's uncertainty. And that's also another thing where it comes to communication or the lack thereof. But April brings around a moment where one person gets tired of this crazy loop that you're in. And one of you chooses clarity. One of you just is like, look, I can't do this anymore. We have to talk about this. And either we're going to get together and we're going to stay together or we're going to walk away. And this is, I see something happening in mid-April, before mid-April, like early April, I'm seeing it for, but it comes in both areas, mid and early April, where things can get clarity. The other thing, though, I'm seeing is an argument that can also spark this clarity for the two of you, where you just get tired of it. And you're like, everything that you were afraid to say before just comes out. It's a Virgo Sagittarius moment. That's what I call this. Both with those mouths that just say whatever they want to say and just don't care. But this situation is definitely going to bring the Gemini out in you. Okay? But the ending of that situation will be by the middle of April. You're going to see a lot of differences. It's showing that you might be planning a trip in March. And it looks like, okay, so this is not your wedding, is it? Because, I mean, it's not showing anything really negative. It's just showing there might be some disappointments with the travel. Like if this is a honeymoon, there might be a reason why you have to postpone it or delay it. And I'm also seeing that through all of this, the back and forth and the clarity that comes through can actually bring a proposal. So just so you know that. If you're one of those who, like, it just doesn't seem to get completely fixed by April, it does get fixed in May. Okay? It might just take a little bit longer because of the situations that are going on with other things. So I'm also seeing like there are some stubborn Geminis out there. I can see that here, where, even though the situation could be on the mend, there could be a situation where there's that, there's, it's like there might not have been complete clarity, and there might be some thoughts lingering. And those thoughts could be like, maybe there's somebody else involved, one of those situations. And with this, it's showing that that might be something that's lingering. I'm going to say this: by April, when all of this is getting cleared up, make sure that comes out as well. And you can avoid the whole May thing and have everything cleared up by April. It's just, it feels to me like somebody's hiding their feelings and too embarrassed to say that they think there's cheating going on, or too embarrassed to hear that it might be going on. But like I say all the time, if the person doesn't know what the problem is, the problem can't be fixed. But look for things to start looking really good for you in April. That's where things get corrected here. Talk to you soon. Well, let me get over to Cancer. Hey, Cancer. I can see by this that your emotions are going crazy. Okay. It's showing me that you're feeling unappreciated, or just like you're just not being seen. And for Cancer, that is like a no-no, because there's so many emotions that are completely floating around that Cancer needs to know what's what. And Cancer needs that attention. Okay, so with this situation, I do see that it gets cleared for you. And this is why I said the emotion is crazy, because it seems like it may take all the way up until late June for this to be cleared up, if there's no clarity. So it actually shows that you've been giving more than you've been receiving, and your imbalance seems to be creating resentment against the partner. The thing is that the partner hasn't been intentionally neglecting you. They've been like emotionally distracted, or dealing with, some other internal battles that they're going through. And I know what that is. What can clear this up is a conversation that brings awareness to how deeply you've been feeling, carrying this emotional load. And I think that once this conversation happens, you're going to realize that your partner has been going through these same emotions, not knowing how to explain it to you. One of the things that I see with this is, first of all, your emotions are probably going crazy right now. And I've done this in the January and the yearly readings. The energy that's going around now is creating all sorts of different emotions, and it's increasing our spiritual intuitiveness, and it's hard to know how to handle that. especially when you're an empath and you're picking up other people's energy. So, like, I already know that you're an empath. So, with the amount of energy or emotions that your partner has, you've got to be picking that up like crazy. And from what I'm getting here, your partner is also an empath. So your emotions are bouncing off of each other, but it's coming from somewhere else. You're picking up someone else's emotions. That's crazy. And I can see why it would take that long to get everything straightened out. But I can tell you that if it does take that long until the end of June, and you get to the point, one of you gets to the point where you're just like, I can't do this anymore, I'm not doing it. There will be a second chance so that all of this can be clarified and fixed. And I'm also picking up that there's somebody around you who is, well, they're lying and it's a con job. So if you know of any situation like this, just know that I'm getting that this is a spiritual person. Somebody who is giving poor advice. Okay. So I would say that you're like surrounded by just craziness. And I'm going to say, keep yourself centered. That's like the biggest thing that you could do. And sage, please sage, because all this energy, it just looks crazy. It's like you're up and down, you're in and out, back and forth, left and right. So have a conversation with your partner and get all of this stuff out. Because the other thing that I'm picking up is that they may be intuitive too, right? I said that. But I think that they're not telling you and they're hiding all of this from you so that you don't think that they're crazy. Strange, but normal. You know, most people hide stuff like that. I don't know. Either way, you're going to be cleared up. So if you do have that conversation sooner than June, I do see things being cleared up for you by within the next 30 days, actually. It could be that quick. Okay. On to Leo. Hey, Cancer. I just wanted to add on that I see a business trip for you and I see it working out. And this is so strange. But Leo, I see the same thing for you. And it's going to work out in a really positive way. Like you're probably going to get exactly what it is that you go on this trip for. So don't worry about it. It's going to work out. Okay, now with the relationship, what I'm seeing is an ego clash, or in other words, a power struggle. Okay, and it kind of like it's like both of you want to like feel valued or feel more valued than the other person. It's like, but neither one of you want to appear vulnerable to the other or to anyone else who knows about the situation. And what this is creating is like well, who cares? I don't care. Doesn't matter to me type of situation. And it's not helping to fix the problem. It's just encouraging the problem. I do see that the tension is going to break. But unfortunately, Leo, it seems like you're going to have to be the one who stops trying to win and starts trying to listen. So any cross watchers here, if you're looking for your partner, it's Leo that has to pull back a little bit, because the other person, that Leo is strong. Leo is strong. And the other person doesn't want to appear weaker. And that's the whole problem. So if Leo takes the lead and says, you know what, I'm just going to pull back for a minute. I'm going to see what happens. And as soon as that happens, that's where the understanding happens. Okay? That's where everything gets cleared up. Everything starts moving forward. And I see that for July. Strange how it takes you that long, Leo. What is it, like a birthday thing? Okay, so here's the other thing. I'm seeing some relationships that have, okay, so I'm getting some people either dating or married to or whatever. I see either you're between 4 and 10 years younger than your partner, or your partner's 4 or 10 years younger than you in that area. It seems like it's something that's causing an issue in the relationship, but it's not. It doesn't seem like it's in the relationship. That seems to me to be internal. Like, the person who's older can feel self-conscious about being with somebody that much younger. And the younger person might feel a little bit weird about being with somebody that much older. This is going to work out. It's like, it's up to you how you want your relationships to go. I would honestly stop worrying about other people's opinions. That first. And I can see that it is something that's causing unhappiness with somebody else. Somebody who's very opinionated. And they like to speak what they're thinking. I would say this. You have to make a decision as to whether you're going to listen to this person or you're going to try and be happy. It could be that your happiness comes from walking away from this person because it makes the other person happy. It makes, the person who's speaking their sword truth, like, why do I need to know your opinion about my relationship? But okay, fine, I'll break up with this person just to make you happy, type of thing. Okay. There are some people who are going to think that way, and I know, because it makes life easier when you don't have to listen to it. But the relationship situations that are going on here can be fixed. It's just a matter of pulling back a little bit. That's it. I see a new job. One where okay, so this actually looks like where travel is not going to be an issue. I see this happening in different areas. I see it happening, like it might switch to being remote, to where it's May, June, and July. I'm seeing for that 3-month period there for different people. I'm also seeing a lot of things with your finances being fixed because of that. I'm also seeing that this may be a position that you were let go of before, and they're going to call you back. Sounds interesting, right? Leave that in the comments, please. I love that one. Okay. On to Virgo. Virgo. Hey. Okay, so I don't know why this keeps happening, but it's like all you people just keep getting these jobs coming through for you. It's a wonderful thing, though, isn't it? All right, so I see, I'm just going to do this before I do the relationship situation. I see, because I'm feeling like there's a lot of people who are waiting for this information. So I'm getting a new job at the end of February. I'm getting one at the end of March, and I'm getting one in July. Okay? Just so you know. And on those dates, the jobs actually do go through for you. So, and in some cases, and I know I just said this in the last one, it might be a job that you've had before, but this is like a second chance at that same job. If that makes sense. Yeah. It's the second time at that job. Something that you may have been let go of before or earlier, and they call you back. So expect some of that stuff to be happening. Okay, so what I get for Virgo is a lot of overthinking things. You detectives and whatnot. I see you overthinking. I see you analyzing. And I see also the fear of being too vulnerable or letting others see your vulnerability, that type of thing. I'm also getting that you've been trying to solve the relationship like it was a puzzle or something, instead of actually experiencing it. And it shows that the other person, your partner, feels judged and misunderstood. And by being judged, what I mean is you looking at them and putting them in a category, one that fits the way that you're thinking, instead of being able to see them from a different perspective. And then I see the misunderstanding as maybe Virgo thinking that they're really not interested, but they're just showing it in a different way, and they're trying to hold back some because they're afraid of becoming overwhelmed. And a lot of that is due to past relationships, even past life issues. And it does show that I would say the misunderstanding, it's going to be discussed, the whole situation, so that things could be figured out between the two of you. And it shows that for happening as soon as February, actually. It brings like a grounding moment to Virgo. And Virgo realizes that they don't have to have all the answers to move forward in a relationship. And once that happens, it's like the energy just becomes more open, less guarded, and more receptive. And I know I said in another video that this is Virgo's time to receive, not so much to figure things out and push things out. It's time for you to just sit back and just let things happen for you instead of having to control them all the time or to control it because you can. Okay, so we know you're intuitive, all right? So you tend to, you're an earth sign. So you tend to see things from different perspectives in a way that other people don't. I'm not saying they can't. I'm saying that they don't. Like you see up, you see down. You see left, you see right. You see back, you see forth. And you can see where the situation is heading according to your life experiences. It's like you've seen these things you've seen them happen 100 times and you know what's going to end up happening. But what you don't realize is sometimes things are different. And it could have, instead of 8 different ways, it could have a 9th way that it goes. I hope that makes sense. But I do see things working out in a really quick way. February, that's the timing that I said in the other video. Other things that are going on here. June, expect all sorts of intuitive energy to grow. Like you will be that empath that can't walk down the street without picking up somebody's energy. And from what I'm seeing, that energy might actually be good because it's an ending to endings. I hope that this is making some kind of sense to some of you. It's an ending to endings. Things are changing. Things are going to change. And I also mentioned second chances. I do see here new relationships forming. Okay, here's one that I didn't actually notice until just now. I see a relationship situation here where a divorce is going to happen. I'm seeing divorces actually happening. And these are for people who are expecting divorces. I don't see any surprise divorces here. I see one for May and I see the other one for June here. And in June, it shows that it's going to create a new path for you. It's going to be a big change. For some of you, in July, if there's someone who's been away out of your life, whether you broke up or you haven't seen this person, you're separated, they're ghosting you, whatever the situation, this person will be back in June. Especially if you haven't seen them for months. This person will be back around in June. You'll see this person in June. You'll also see this person at the end of July, or another person, someone else coming back into your life. The one who comes back in July is coming back for a second chance. The one who comes back in June comes back because the relationship that they were in ended, and it may not be a second chance with this person, but they have had their eye on you previously. So look to that. Look for some of you in that area to be thrown into love triangle situations. I'm seeing a lot of third party stuff going on here where for some of you it'll be someone at work. For some of you it won't. Let's see. Brand new relationship is going to start. Well, I don't want to say a brand new. I want to say a brand new start of a relationship is going to start towards the end of March. And that's going to carry through. There are going to be some issues, but they're going to be worked out. The issues seem to be financial. It's like this person is working on something that is going to bring them a lot of success. And they may have pulled away, or they may have been too busy to actually jump into a relationship in March. For some of you, like I said, things get better in February, and for others, new things are going to start in March. Okay. Libra, I'm coming. Libra. There's a lot of third party influence and outside opinions going on. Okay. So Libra seems to be, or you seem to be, being pulled in multiple directions. Like friends are calling, family, they're calling you. Even the ex that you don't want to hear from, that energy is also there, where it's lingering. It's not letting you, this person's not letting you pull away. Just when you think it's done, there you go with another text. The problem is you have a partner, and this partner is feeling like they're competing for your attention. And they're feeling like they shouldn't have to feel that way. Well, the good thing is, well, I'm seeing the change is going to happen for you in September. I can understand why it's going to take that long too. I mean, it's difficult to pull away from people, especially when you feel committed to them. But there's going to come a moment where there's clarity to the point of where you're just like, I have to choose peace. I can't let pleasing other people and everyone else around me take over my peace. I have to have my peace. And you actually are going to start setting boundaries. But you're not going to actually be able to do that until September. And that is actually where your relationship is going to stabilize. It's going to get to the point where things are calm, things are comfortable. And it Setting boundaries is difficult for people because you feel either responsible with a relationship or the person just doesn't leave you alone. Could be a parent, could be a sister, brother, could be a best friend, could be an ex. But you have to start setting boundaries, because if you don't, this relationship could end. And it's not even like either of you really want that to happen. It just, if it doesn't stabilize, if it doesn't get to the point where the two of you can clear things and understand each other and put each other first, then it may end. And along with it is going to go a whole lot of sadness, whole lot of unhappiness. But the thing about it is that unhappiness can be cleared up as soon as next month. Well, we've got 2 weeks left of this month. Beginning part of February, Valentine's Day, all this could be cleared up. I also see a move for Libra. And if this is for those of you who are worried about whether you're going to find a place, you're going to find a place before the end of February. You're going to be moving in. And it doesn't look like it's out of state. It looks like it's in state. Could also be selling a house, waiting for closing, if that's the case, by the end of February. I don't see delays, but you may not start until February with closing. And I do see some second chances here where any type of situation with your relationship can be fixed. Okay, so here's the other thing that I see. I see a surprise love triangle situation coming up. Something that has been hidden away is going to surface. Not sure if it's for Libra or if it is Libra. Like, is it your partner with the other party or is it Libra with the other party? I do know that if you're trying to keep this hidden, it's going to come out the very end of April, going into the beginning of May. Just so you know. I also see the possibility of that happening before the end of this month. So pay attention to your text messages. If you're sending a text message to somebody, then know who you're sending it to. Because what I see is, I see you texting your partner and texting your partner and texting your partner. And then the third party sends you a text, or you get an idea and you say, oh, let me send this person a text message. And instead of switching away from the partners and going to the other person, you just click send. And that could be how that first one before the end of this month happens. Just so you know. Possible arguments this month. You're probably going through them now. The reason why the arguments are happening is because of third-party interference. Okay? There's also, along with that third-party interference, is gossip. So, there's a lot of stuff that's going along with this. But you know how to fix that stuff. But just remember that boundaries, you have to make some kind of boundaries. Okay. Scorpio next. Scorpio. I'm seeing with relationships dealing with you. I'm seeing trust issues, and I'm also seeing emotional walls, boundaries that are being built to keep away from feeling emotions and from other people being able to see your secrets. I see a lot of secrets. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm going to say this first. I'm seeing a text message that, and I just said this for the last one. It's crazy how these things keep coming up like this. But I'm seeing a text message that now this is different. So either you may send a text message to somebody secretively that you don't want your partner to see, and they could see it. Or you could be the one who sees the text message that was supposed to be hidden. Okay? And I see that probably before the end of this month. I do definitely see it within this 2-month period, within 60 days. I also see someone being ghosted. But I don't see that as being something that's going to last. I see that as whatever separation there is, I see that separation ending by the end of this month. I also see, like, if it's a divorce situation where you're talking about not wanting to be with your partner anymore, I see that coming to an end, to where the beginning of February goes to things being fixed in the relationship. And I'm seeing this separation as only being a delay, not an ending. So if you've had a breakup recently, or, within the last couple of months, if you've had a breakup, I would say that it wasn't an actual ending to the relationship. It's just a delay. That's what I call those, because even though somebody says, I don't want to see you again, this is over, I'm breaking up with you, it doesn't mean that's what they're really thinking. It just means that they're speaking their emotions most of the time. Okay? So expect a second chance, and whatever situations that were going on, expect those to be corrected probably before Valentine's Day. Okay. So what I get with your relationship is that you've been sensing some inconsistencies, maybe some, like your partner, maybe it could be you also. But I see, like, I'll give you a for instance. I see somebody washing dishes in the kitchen, and you're not getting along with your partner, and it's tense. It's very tense when you're around each other. And then you walk into the kitchen and you see your partner smiling in there. And you're like, why is this person smiling? There's nobody in here. And there's like nobody in here telling a joke. What the hell's going on? And you start like, what are they thinking about? Who are they thinking about? Things like that I'm seeing. I'm also seeing a lot of this having to being something that comes through your intuition. Like, those inconsistencies, you're seeing synchronicities also. Like, okay, why am I seeing this person's birthday all the time? And then there's whatever it is that's been going on. It's been like high alert type of thing. Like you notice it. Like your intuition is like in high speed. And you're like, well, wait a minute, this is not making sense. Wait. But it's like the other person really hasn't been deceptive. Just like guarded, kind of emotionally guarded. And you don't really see like you really don't see them doing anything that's terrible. It's just the inconsistencies. And one of the biggest things it is your partner being afraid of your intensity, because you can be pretty intense when you want to be in everything. And they want to try and kind of avoid that situation. That's what a lot of the inconsistencies have been about. But there's going to be a conversation that you have, and a lot of this stuff is going to be cleared up. It's kind of like getting the Ace of Spades, like that sword that cuts through all that fog so you can actually see everything that's really going on. And you're actually, it's like you want it, it's like you want to have that conversation, but you're kind of afraid to have the conversation because you don't want to argue. You don't want things to get worse than they are. You don't want this person to leave you. All these things are going through your head. And of course, this could be everything that your partner's feeling also. So it's just that you are going to get that clarity that you've wanted. And I see that actually happening in May. I also see it, and so, okay, so I see it in May. I'm going to go from the beginning months. I see it in February. I see where things actually can be fixed. I see it in March. I see it in April. I see it in May. There's a lot of you Scorpios, huh? And I also see the possibility of that happening in July. I do see for some of you, there is that third party situation going on where that inconsistency is validated. But it all really depends on whether you want to stay together or whether you don't. Because I do see that there's the chance that the two of you could stay together. You know, I'm also seeing that there are some of you who may work things out so that the third party can stay around. Yeah. I also see for some of you who are worried about a divorce situation coming from all of this, like this is where it might end. I see two different things with that, and I'll tell you. One is I see the divorce possibility, but I also see people making a decision to try and fix things. And then I see the divorce thing where people want that to happen so that they can jump into the next marriage because there's already somebody there waiting for them for this divorce to be over with. And I do see that happening for you in May. It actually shows the divorce paperwork being finalized in May. Okay. And wow, was this a long battle? Like, is this something that's been going on for a while? Because I'm seeing the delays that have been going on here are actually ending. And the whole stress with the court. For some of you, it's been like 4 years. It takes a divorce 4 years to be over with? Oh my goodness. That's like being in the marriage all over again. Oh, I forgot. I'm still on camera. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So some of these love triangle situations are wanted. That's basically what I wanted to say. And if you want the relationship to actually continue, it can. And it's only going to take communication. And for both parties to speak what it is that's been going wrong in the relationship. Like I'm seeing, like I said before, I see a lot of secrets. And one of the secrets that I see is coming from people not wanting to be honest about what's bothering them. And as soon as that comes out, everything is going to change. Okay, Sagittarius. Hey, Sagittarius. One of the things that I'm seeing going on with you, with the relationship, is a lot of inconsistency and also a fear of commitment in some cases. Um, it does show that in March, this should be cleared up, but the issue shows that you may be torn between like being free and being connected. Like you want your freedom, but you also want to be connected. And your freedom helps you to avoid being overwhelmed, but your connection keeps you from being alone. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense to you, but that's what I'm getting with this. And it shows that the other person feels like they're getting mixed signals from you. But this is showing that March is going to bring like some kind of an event, a grounding event where your truth comes out and their truth comes out. I honestly think it's going to start in February.